People have a tremendous investment in survival, in continuity, in going on and on through time. Now it seems gloomy and wretched to point out that we're all going to die. But I want you to notice that the theme of the transience, the impermanence of all forms, is a theme to which poets constantly resort. The great passage in Shakespeare in The Tempest, "Our revels now are ended." And these our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin, thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, aye, all which it inherits shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Well, said that well, it isn't so bad. But we resist this. Unamuno said, the Spanish philosopher, the human beings are the only creatures who hoard their dead. Why do we do this? There's an undertaker's advert that was around some years ago, which shows a middle-aged but handsome lady looking out of the window on a rainy day. And it says, what a comfort to know that, your husband, who's died of ulcers or something, is not corrupting, because he's been put in a concrete vault, in a bronze casket, and skillfully embalmed, and there he will be forever and ever, safe from the bugs. This is terrible, because I have a theory that dead people should be used as fertilizer, that enormous fields should be prepared, and they be put about 3 feet underground until they rot completely, and then a certain period has to wait for maturing, and then we plant all those fields, and we return to the earth that which we took from it. That would be really civilized. But instead, we try to make a block on the end. You see, biology is a mutual eating society. Everything eats everything. And human beings are trying to opt out. We refuse to be eaten. Of course, we've conquered the tigers and the various predatory animals that might eat us, except the little ones. The little bacteria, they feast on us. And we say, no, we are the end. Man is the head of nature, and man must not be eaten. But in so doing, we do not realize how we deprive ourselves, because we are trying to put a stop to the chain of life. And time is, as I have tried to show you, an artificial concept. This gadget that I wear on my wrist represents each minute by a hairline. And this hairline is made to be as thin as possible, as is compatible with visibility. Because, therefore, it gives us the notion that this moment is nowhere. And therefore we get the feeling from the watch that time flies, and we become anxious. See, the person facing death, as you get older, as you face death, you notice the time is going faster and faster and faster. When you're a child, time drags, and you just can't wait for it to get ahead so that you can be an adult. Because to be a child is to be in a sort of, to have no civil liberties. You can't wait to grow up. But then, when you get to be 50, 60, and so on, it's going faster. You just can't keep track of it. But it's an illusion. There is no time. The conceptualized idea of the universe which bugs us all. That it's a terrible thing, that forms all come to an end, that they're transient. And therefore, to protect us from this reality, we construct abstract worlds in which our form goes on forever. But the abstract worlds that we construct are all terrible. Like I was showing you, the Christian idea of heaven was a complete bore. And the Buddhists and the Hindus know all about various heavens. They have at least 7 of them. But they regard them as illusions. And they regard the very gods and angels as still in the state of illusion. Whereas a Buddha, or in the Hindu terminology, Jivan Mukta, someone who's liberated, is in a certain way higher than the gods, because delivered from the illusion of the cycle of time. Notice, therefore, that almost all religious beliefs are in fact fantasies to overcome mortality, the slipping away of life, the dissolving of ourselves. And therefore they exhibit fundamentally anxiety. Belief is anxiety. The Anglo-Saxon word underlying belief is lief, L-I-E-F, which means to wish. So we say wishful thinking underlies the various beliefs of all what I would call dogmatic religions. Because if you go into it, the reason for belief in God as a compassionate Father, the reason for belief in immortality, the reason for belief in the notion that goodness will triumph and it'll all come out all right in the end, all that is what the Buddhists call Trishna, or clinging. It's an attitude of frantic clinging on to what you think you are. And therefore you might say that the highest religion is the religion of non-religion. We could call it atheism in the name of God. So that, in a way, being religious gets in the way of religion. Biological rhythm is real rhythm. Your heart goes boom, 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 boom. Everything in biology is that. See? That's rhythm, it isn't time. It's something quite different. Time shortens the moment to the hairline of the abstract second. See? Time kills rhythm and life because of the abstract notion of the hairline as the now. Now, if we are to measure now, must be made to seem as short as possible. And so time altogether ignores the fact that now is eternal. Eternal means beyond time. It doesn't mean everlasting. We're here. This is it. Is that possible to accept? That to understand this actual situation that we're in is the point of all great spiritual quests. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be when you've had time to do something, and progress towards it and practice. You have to get it now. Now or never. If we realize this, you see, we don't give a shit anymore about immortality. It just simply ceases to matter. Because in the full experience of the eternal now, we watched under your very eyes, or rather, to be more exact, under your very ears, you heard the future vanish, and you heard no past. if you come to your senses, there is only the eternal now. You can get rid of an awful lot of encumbering baggage, because you see, when you have really accepted this, and it's easy to do by accepting mortality. I mean, sure, we're all going to die. Sure, we're all falling apart. But once that has become obvious, you find mysteriously that you have an immense access of new energy. Because we are constantly wasting energy. I mean, really wearing ourselves out, trying to hold ourselves together. And to be sure that we are secure and that everything's going to be all right, and it isn't. And we get more and more worried, and so on and so on. Whereas if we just left that alone, we'd have all that energy available for other things, and we would blossom.